Welcome to Write, Writer, Write. I'm your host, Deborah Froese, and today we're starting a new 3-part series on writing nonfiction. You've probably heard the saying, everyone has a story inside them, right? Well, it's true. Some of those stories may be fictional in nature, but some are born of concrete experience and insight and a passion to help others. That's nonfiction's domain. Did you know that nonfiction is a slow but steadily increasing market? Readers crave books meant to teach, guide, encourage, or open new ways of seeing. So all those ideas and insights you carry matter. They have purpose and potential, and not just for your readers. They benefit you too. Let's start with why you should consider writing nonfiction. Although I'm specifically talking about books, over the long term, the same principles apply to collected works like blog posts, articles, and essays. So if that's what you're writing, this applies to you too. Publication instantly builds credibility. It says to the world, I've thought deeply about this subject and I have something valuable to share. That credibility often opens doors, from speaking invitations to consulting opportunities. You might find new partnerships and more as your reach grows. A nonfiction book can even become the cornerstone of your platform or business, the piece that helps readers, clients, or colleagues find you and take you seriously. And of course, a published book becomes a legacy. Your knowledge and your voice are preserved on the page long after you're gone. But the benefits don't stop at career growth. Writing nonfiction sharpens your perspectives. It forces you to clarify what you know and to turn vague thoughts into clear ideas. Best of all, it builds confidence and reminds you that your experience and insights matter, that they're not just random pieces of your life, but stories that can help someone else. Writing nonfiction strengthens your storytelling skills too, because even the most practical book or articles come alive when you weave in anecdotes or examples. Even better, writing nonfiction teaches you to trust your own voice. You begin to hear yourself differently when your ideas take shape on the page. Readers reach for nonfiction when they're looking for guidance, need encouragement, or want to learn practical skills. So nonfiction has a wide scope. It includes narrative history, instructional guides, journalism, biography, essays, inspirational stories, and more. Some books lean heavily on research. Others grow from a central idea or personal expertise. The building blocks you need will depend on what you want to write about. If you're writing a book on leadership, you may rely on personal experience, case studies, and interviews. If you're writing narrative nonfiction about an unsolved mystery, you'll probably spend more time structuring events to help them unfold with the suspense of a novel, while sticking to fact. The point is, nonfiction is diverse, and so are its construction materials. As you can see, there is no one-size-fits-all approach to writing nonfiction, but there is a common thread. Every nonfiction book needs clarity of purpose, a recognizable shape, and a voice readers can trust. Identifying your subject matter and a few essential features before you start makes writing easier. So pick up a pen and paper and mull over the following 4 questions. Number 1, what is your book's purpose? It's essential to know your intention for the book before you begin writing so you can shape it properly. Maybe you want to share knowledge that will improve people's lives or establish credibility and authority in your professional field. Maybe you want to offer encouragement so others know they're not alone in a particular experience or situation. Number 2, what is your heart message? This is the truth or theme at the core of your book, the thing you most want readers to understand and walk away with. Knowing your heart message will help you stay focused when you write. This isn't necessarily an easy question to answer, though, so let's take a look at it from a slightly different angle. If this were your last day on Earth, what single message would you most want to give to your loved ones? Or what legacy would you most like to share with the world? Play with that idea until you can fit it into a simple statement. When you find your heart message, you've got the foundation of your book. Number 3, what problem are you solving? Readers pick up nonfiction to gain something: knowledge, guidance, inspiration. What need does your book meet? Number 4, who is your ideal reader? The answer to this question determines who you're speaking to or thinking about as you write. Warning: do not say everyone. Regardless of how broadly your book may appeal, writing for everyone dilutes your credibility and focus. Talk to an individual, not a crowd. Choosing an ideal reader doesn't mean you're narrowing your audience. It means you're choosing a particular reader to appeal to with a relatable vocabulary, anecdotes, and data. Knowing who you're speaking to will help you develop an appropriate outline, and it will subtly influence your narrative voice. So picture the specific person you most want to address. Think about their age, their background, interests, challenges, all that stuff. And imagine speaking to them as you write. Trust me, this is critical. Maybe you're lucky and the answer to these 4 questions are right at your fingertips. If they aren't, I've got a great exercise for you: the DSM method. The DSM is the Developmental Story Matrix, a tool created by my friend Kellen Flukiger. It's available to anyone with a blank sheet of paper or a spreadsheet. This technique not only provides an overview of your life's key moments, it reveals patterns of thought or experiences that might help you clarify your heart message if you're still struggling to find it. It also provides anecdotes and insights to support your message. Start by creating a chart with 4 columns labeled Traumatic Event, Impact Then, Impact Now, and Why It Matters to My Audience. Note, these titles are a little different than the ones Kellen uses, but you'll get the idea. In the first column, name an event that impacted you deeply. For example, maybe a close childhood friend left you behind when you hit high school. In the second column, jot down how it impacted you at the time. You can write as much or as little as you'd like. For our purposes, let's say it left you feeling unworthy and killed your trust in other people. You withdrew and began to avoid close relationships. In the third column, think about how your perspective has changed since then. Maybe you came to realize that your friend's choice wasn't about you, it was about where they were in life. You let go of blame and stopped assuming rejection meant unworthiness. Just imagine the stories behind that transformation. Note, if you still feel the same way years after a certain event occurred, it may be a clue that you have some past trauma to work through. That's not a bad thing. As a writer and a fully developed human, working through trauma is a gift to greater self-awareness and the page. In the fourth column, consider the value your experience offers your audience. In this case, it might be something like, you can't control other people's choices, but you can control how you interpret them and how you respond. Your DSM doesn't just collect stories. It identifies moments that shaped you, what you've learned, and what you have to offer. These stories go beyond inspiration and footnotes for your nonfiction project. They also provide fodder for blog posts or keynote speeches. The DSM is never finished. It's an ever-expanding tool. Just keep adding events as you think of them. If you're comfortable with spreadsheets, you can use one to sort and group your insights into different categories, making them easier to search and review later. For more insight into this method, check out Kellen's book, The Story Arc: Practical and Persuasive Magic for Authors, Speakers, and Product Creators. Now, let's take a closer look at something that may be uncomfortable. As you can probably tell from the DSM, you'll need some level of openness about your life as you write. But that doesn't mean every nonfiction book needs to be deeply raw or vulnerable. If you're writing something purely technical or data-driven, your focus will be on clarity and evidence. But for other nonfiction, especially personal development, leadership, or inspirational writing, emotional connection matters. Readers want to feel they're in conversation with someone who understands their struggles, someone who's willing to be open and vulnerable. Sharing parts of yourself is key. That doesn't mean you have to spill every secret. It means choosing stories and truths that illustrate your heart message at an emotional level, inviting readers to trust you. Before you start writing, look for comparable nonfiction books or comps to learn more about the market, discover who your competitors are, and refine your angle so your work stands apart from the rest. By studying what's already been published and how readers have responded to it, you can spot the gaps and highlight what makes your book different. This also helps define your audience and find the best way to reach them. Some writers are reluctant to read books that are similar to their own, feeling that it will influence their writing or maybe even make them feel incompetent. But remember, as an individual, your unique insights, perspectives, and experiences make your coverage unique too, even if the subject matter has been written about before. If you're serious about writing a nonfiction book, get started this week by developing your DSM, your developmental story matrix. Look for patterns and listen to your intuition for those sparks of excitement that tell you you're onto something. Then, make sure you can answer the key questions behind nonfiction. Number 1, what's your book's purpose? Number 2, what is your heart message? Number 3, what problem are you solving? And number 4, who is your ideal reader? That's it. Once you can answer these questions, you've got the compass that will guide your whole project. Stay tuned for Writing Nonfiction Part 2 and learn how to plan what you're going to write. You have a story worth sharing, so do it. Write, writer, write.